Welcome to another episode of the End Goal Podcast with me, your host, Entro Arish. Today is the first of the next 10 weeks of podcast, which is really fun, really excited. I just got done taking a cold shower in preparation for this, so I'm super excited. Hope you guys all are doing great today. I myself had a pretty good day, the day that I'm recording this, but I hope your Sunday is going great. Today's topic is talking about goal setting and goal planning, and more so specifics around how I do it. Because the whole idea of this podcast is to help you achieve your goals efficiently, effectively, and consistently. If you did listen to the first 5 episodes, then I hope you understand my history and where I'm coming from. If you didn't, I would highly recommend you go back and listen to them. Maybe just put them on 2 times speed and get through it. My life isn't the most interesting, but there's lessons in there for you guys. Let's get into today's episode. So today I wanted to talk about goal setting and goal planning and how I do it. And the way I do it and the way I break it up is into 3 different buckets. The buckets are time, knowledge, and capital. That's kind of how I like to think about my goal as a whole. And you can think of it more so as a Venn diagram where there's 3 circles overlapping as opposed to like a pie chart or anything like that, right? There's things that are contained in each bucket. There's things that overlap. So the way I look at it, let's just start with one of them, right? Let's just start with the idea of, let's just say time. So the way I look at it is when I have a goal and I know what that goal is and I know what that specific goal is, I ask myself, when do I want to achieve this goal? By when do I want to achieve this goal? How much time do I have to achieve the entire goal? That's the first thing. The next thing is going into, okay, well, I know I have, say, 6 months. When do I want to set up mini checkpoints along the way to kind of check in with myself? Am I still on track with the goal? Am I still meeting my kind of mini goals? Am I still doing well, or do I need to rethink the deadline, or do I need to, can I speed it up? Can I push it back? Do I think it's not reasonable? Those kind of checkpoints, always need to check in with yourself. So ask yourself, when do you want to check in? It can be weekly, it can be monthly, it can be daily for some things, whatever you want to do that way. The next thing I ask myself is, in terms of achieving this goal, right? How much time do I need to achieve this goal? And by that, I mean, say your goal is, for example, gaining weight or going to the gym and lifting more weights and things like that, right? So the time component there would be something along the lines of, how much time do I want to spend in the gym? How much time do I need to spend in the gym in order to do all the exercises that I'm doing? How much time is it going to take for me to work out every single day? How much time am I going to be spending working out during a week, etc.? And how much time reasonably should I need to achieve this goal? And how much time do I have to allocate? The next question actually is, what is my capacity? How much time do I have the capacity to give? Because if you're, say, working a 9 to 5 or you're working longer hours than that, how much time in the day do you actually have to do that? Because you also have to think about, how much time am I spending sleeping? How much time am I spending time with people that I like spending time with? How much time do I spend with myself? How much time do I spend in all these things? Like, what is your daily capacity? And if you know what your daily capacity is, you know how to structure the day into, can I only work out in the morning? Can I only work out in the evening? Can I only work on my side misses in the morning? Or can I work on my side misses also in the evening and in the morning? How much time do I have the day to work on it? What is my capacity? Now, if your goal requires you to get certain skills in order to be able to achieve it, how much time do you need to spend? How much time can you spend, or how much time is required for you to spend on the skills that you need in order to achieve your goals? That's another question for you. And, after you've achieved those skills, how much time would it take for you to start acting towards that goal? Like, what does that look like? We have the fitness example, but let's take food for an example. How much time does it take for you to meal prep a week? Or can you meal prep? Can you cook daily? If you have to cook daily, how much time will that take? If you can meal prep, how much time will that save you? Those are questions regarding time that we can all ask ourselves. The next bucket is knowledge. Now, knowledge is tricky in a sense. So basically, the knowledge is, do I know what my goal is? In specificity, do I know what my specific goal is, first of all? Now, do I know how to get there? I will use an example from a friend of mine who wanted to make an EP because they are getting into music production and beat production. So they reached out to me and we kind of talked it over, and I kind of walked them through my 3-bucket process. And here are the kind of questions, just as an example, that I thought of about knowledge, right? Do you know what you need to know in order to get there? So do you know how to make beats? Do you know how to produce? Do you know how to master? Do you know what instrumental components you need? Do you know what software you need to use? Do you know what technology you need in general? Do you need technology? Do you not need technology? Those are the kind of things that you need in the knowledge bucket. And a lot of the times, first of all, it's, do you know these things, right? Do you know what you need? The next thing is, okay, if I don't know what I need, do I know how to get it? Are there YouTube videos I can watch? Are there online courses I can take? Are there people that I can reach out to help me? How can I get this knowledge in order to achieve this goal? That's another question to ask yourself. And then the third kind of generic thing is there anybody around me that can help? I make this one very specific because a lot of the times we think our goals are ours alone and we have to achieve them solo. We have to achieve them alone. We have to achieve them by ourselves. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. That's incorrect. Coming from someone who struggles with that is incorrect. Always ask yourself, is there somebody that can help me, and can I reach out to somebody to help me with what I want to achieve? The third bucket is capital. Capital generally responds to monetary capital, in my opinion, but I also put in human capital here. And that's going to sound weird. I get that's going to sound weird. But hear me out real quick. Capital, let's start with money, right? How much money do I need to achieve this goal? Okay. Unfortunately, our lives aren't free anymore. So a lot of the times, achieving goals does cost money, or it costs your time. Time you've already covered in a different bucket. But let's talk about how much money do I need to achieve this goal, right? Let's go back to fitness. How much money do I need for the gym membership that I need? Do I need a coach, or do I need someone to train me? How much money will that cost? How much money is food going to cost me every week or by the day? Am I buying food or am I cooking food? What are the savings there? What's the efficiency there? Those are questions you need to ask yourself. Human capital also refers to your own labor, right? How much labor am I putting into what I'm doing? How much labor capacity do I have? I kind of went into time capacity, but this is more about your energy now, okay? This is more about how much energy do I have to put towards this every day. If I'm working 10 or 12 hours a day doing something, do I actually have the energy to put into this, or how can I get the energy, right? Getting energy does not mean making time. Getting energy can be, can I change up what I'm eating to give myself more energy throughout the day? If I can fix my sleep, will I give myself more energy throughout the day? That is also human capital. How much capital do I need, monetary or human, to get towards this goal? And if I don't have it, how do I get it? Those are the two biggest, I guess, prepositional phrases, almost. Not prepositional phrases. Those are the two biggest phrases, let's just put it there, that you need to ask yourself when you're planning your goals, right? Is, do I know, or do I? If not, how do I? Do I have time? No. How do I get time? Do I have knowledge? No. How do I get knowledge? Do I have capital? No. How do I get capital? Those are the two biggest things that you can ask yourself in any frame to pull yourself towards your goals more efficiently. And this all can happen up front, but I do want to kind of but I do want to show or portray or say just some precautions with this, okay? I know achieving your goals is very seductive, it's very nice to think about, and you don't want to spend a lot of time planning, because if you think you're going to spend a lot of time planning, it'll take all the fun out of it and it'll make it more mechanical, methodical, boring, right? If I know that if I figured out that I don't have time to do what I want to do, I don't know what I want to do, and I don't have the money to do what I want to do I even want to do it, right? That's really sucky to think about if you go through the questions. So I get that you don't want to do all this up front, and that's fine. But what I would say is have a plan regardless up front. That way you know how to get to where you're going. Because if you just walk in blindly, you're going to end up wasting time, wasting energy, wasting knowledge. You won't even have the right knowledge most of the time. That being said, when it comes to time, capital, and knowledge, there are only things that you will learn while you do it. You cannot plan for everything and have it go according to plan. You cannot have everything planned and have it go according to plan. That will almost never work for anybody. Nobody gets it right, okay? You will have to readjust your plan throughout the goal. You might even figure out as you're getting into this, I don't enjoy it, I don't like it, and I don't think it's worth me doing this anymore. And that's fine. You have to spend month, 2 month, 3 months doing something to figure out it's not for you, and that's okay. You know, you did not necessarily waste time because you got the lessons of maybe you learned new skills in those 3 months. Maybe you learned something about yourself in those 3 months. What if maybe you learning that you don't like that opened a door to maybe now you know what you do like? Maybe you figured out something in that time to show you maybe this is something else that I like. That's always okay because experiences always come with lessons. Failures always come with lessons. I don't think anything's a waste unless you didn't learn something or didn't achieve something in the process. That is how I view it. So this is, in a nutshell, my goal setting, goal planning process. It is very, question heavy. It is very introspective. It is not very black and white. Some things are black and white. Some things are very gray inside of it. And that's the whole point, is to get, as much of the ambiguity of goals out at the forefront. That way you kind of have a clear sight of where you're going. And that just makes it more efficient, more effective, and hopefully more consistent later on if you have a process in place. If you want an example from my life, because I'd like to share with you an example of how I kind of use this, not day to day, but for a lot of my bigger goals, I use this, right? So right now, I told you in my one of the other videos before this, I failed my first Etsy shop because I'd taken a course beforehand. I knew a lot of things going in, but there's a lot of things that I didn't know going in terms of, okay, how much time is it going to take me to create these designs? Well, I already had designs bulked, so okay, how much time is it going to take me to make mock-ups? Where do I get mock-ups? Oh, these mock-ups cost money. Do I want to spend money on mock-ups, or do I want to make the mock-ups myself? Okay, I had the mock-ups. How do I edit them? That was a really interesting thing I learned. I learned new skills through editing mock-ups and photo editing and video and just design editing in general. Okay, now I have the mock-ups. What does a good listing look like? How much time does it take me from get to product design to mock-up design to listing design and pushing the publish button on Etsy and letting it go? How much time does that take per product that I have? During my day, how much time does it take? During my week, how much time does it take? These are all things that I learned during the matter because they just weren't, I wasn't aware of them, even though I'd taken like these courses beforehand. Now, the courses were effective and helpful for sure, but that was those were lessons I had to learn while I acted. And I still failed but I still learned the lessons from it, right? I knew what my capacity was every week. I knew where my energy, my thoughts, my focus were going every week. I realized that, okay, well, maybe this isn't the product I need to be selling on Etsy. Can I pivot to something else that I still want to do, but not this? Or, if you really like the product, you really believe in the product, maybe this is not the marketplace, the platform to do it on. I need to do it on something else. So in about 3 months of when I started my Etsy shop to when I had to leave it, I learned all these lessons. I definitely failed at it. I will say I failed at it because I made no money off of it. I got one sale off of it the entire time. And that was to a friend of mine. Shout out my friend. I appreciate my friends that support me, but I got nothing. I got no monetary gain out of it. And the whole point was to get monetary gain out of it. I didn't. So I had to go back to the drawing board and think, okay, now what else can I do? So these are lessons from my life that I wanted to share with you. And these are questions that I ask myself every single time that I have a big goal in place. I hope that they help you pick out some that you like, or just try and split up your thoughts into these buckets and see if they become clearer. If you want some sort of document that walks these things through with you, I would be more than happy to make one for you. I had an idea to make one. I just haven't made it yet, but I would 100% love to make and it would be free. First of all, it would be free. It would just be on my Gumroad, but I would love to make something for you that would just list all the questions. That way you can just pull it and refer to it anytime you want, kind of like a checklist or just a kind of a reminder or whatever it is. That being said, I hope you have a great Sunday. I hope you are on the way to achieving your goals or making new ones for yourself. We're not even halfway through 2023 yet, so you have so much time left this year. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave them in the comments of the YouTube video or DM me on Instagram, whatever you want to do. If you're listening to this on Spotify, thank you. If you're listening to this on YouTube, thank you. I appreciate you regardless. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.